Auglis and Fnatic. And if you're here with us at EMEO, give them your support. Get your team to where you need them to be.
There is no way that Fnatic goes down easy. Let's get into the potential final map of the tournaments. Kicking it off here at the Melbourne Esports Open. The Six Masters is coming to a close, but Fnatic surely have another breath of life to show us here on Clubhouse.
Yeah, I'm not convinced after that. I really am not convinced that that's the Fnatic that will be coming into Clubhouse. Obviously, it is a map that we see them play quite often. It's a map that they've played Auglis in the past even. And the counter-stratting can be counter-stratting as much as you want, but if Fnatic, like we were saying, if Virtue can turn up, if they can start to get those clogs moving, get Specker involved, then realistically, maybe they might be able to bring this back. But so far, from what we've seen, Auglis just looks so damn good.
So let's talk operator bans. Auglis banning out Valkyrie and Zofia. They're the two standouts here.
Yep.
Maverick and Mira, that's pretty standard stuff. But Zofia and Valkyrie. Let's talk to Zofia first. She was actually our stat. At the very start of this tournament, we had this beautiful graphic of the the top 5 most picked and played operators in the Six Masters so far. And Zofia was number 5 with 0 bans. She was so frequently played. And look, guess what? Who's she's a comfort pick for? Virtue himself. This is, in my opinion, specifically to... Actually, I just thought of another reason why they banned Zofia. Two things. One, it it counters Virtue's comfort pick. But two, more importantly, the Zofia trick to counter the Bandit trick, it's going to make Auglis so comfortable. And they're starting on defense too, so they can kick it off and just Bandit trick the absolute heck out of that East wall.
Yeah, that's going to be quite frustrating. We've seen it all weekend long as well, haven't we? So many teams trying to do that Bandit trick. We obviously talk about Clubhouse being that kind of map where it does take a bit of an execute to actually open up these walls, and more often than not, like you're saying, the Zofia is so key to making that work. So that's all right. But one operator that has slipped through obviously is going to be that Echo and also Maestro. So one goes, another opens up, so no Valk.
But, I mean, that's a great point, right? We always talk about the triple threat, Mira, Maestro, and Echo. 2 of those are in. 2 of them. And it's Maestro and Echo, the ones that have the most overlap. So Auglis are going to play into that to kick things off. And the great thing here is that they got the last defender ban. So they really got the choice of keeping both of them in. I think that the thing here is that Auglis are throwing a huge curveball Fnatic's way. Fnatic better catch it, better smack it way out of the park, because if they don't, then they're going to be heading into the second half at a very grim scoreline.
That's for sure. Let's see how well Emorin can juggle those Bandit. A lot of comms coming through from both of these teams right now, obviously.
I wish the audience could hear them as well.
I'm sure the people right down the front might be able to hear both teams, in fact.
Yeah. But we can tell from Fnatic's comms that they are really trying to hunt these players downstairs. And that's indeed what you see on your screen. Both Specker and Ethan have taken a huge amount of damage. Ethan doing some information damage as well, taking out the drones. And he gets back to Sai. He's 1 bullet away from his demise, so he doesn't want to play too aggressive. He knows the fact that he's still alive is more important than the fact that he has presence downstairs.
Reloading. And the Jackal hasn't actually seen a lot of play either. It has been picked.
Well, Virtue doesn't have the Zofia, and the Jackal's a great gun. Same 2-speed as Zofia. And a lot of good utility can help just neutralize some of those players. Plus, you got smokes, and never underrate how smokes are helpful to the execute, especially Fnatic have used them to great effect this weekend.
Something that I feel like is actually underused quite a lot are the smokes. Yeah. So, when teams start to figure that out a little bit more and start to use them.
So here we have the Bandit trick. This 1v1 perspective, it's Specker and Emorin. So Specker's flexed onto the Ash. He doesn't have the concussion charges that Zofia would have, but he does have those explosives. So he can open up that floor beneath the Bandit trickable wall, but Emo's going to get that first charge. So far, Auglis' strat is working perfectly. Ethan's going to finish off Specker, so yeah, he's not going to be able to open up that floor. And Emorin's looking really good to hold down this CCTV wall.
Let's hit the man down for Fnatic now. Is the Ash, so it's not the greatest loss when you think about it, but it's still going to be quite a hindrance moving forward. Rusty starting to open up in toward Cash. Getting spotted out, obviously, by that Jackal. Hunted. Oh, Lusty just on the other side. In fact, it's going to be Magnet going in, trying to open up that wall. No bandits. No more bandit tricks even.
He placed the last of his bandit batteries on the wall statically, and that meant the Thatcher was able to get rid of it, but there's 12 seconds to go. Emorin doesn't need his batteries to make an impact here. Lusty trying to lock him down, but Neophyte is there as well. 3 players left. Rizraz is planting. Surely this doesn't get locked down, but it's about to be confirmed, and Fnatic suddenly have the diffuser down, but August don't give a damn. They'll retake, kill everybody, and get that diffuser disabled. Tactical crouching as well, just warming up his...
Getting the quads nice and ready, you know, the hammies. It's a marathon, not a sprint, Dev. We're all getting ready for it. Don't you smile.
Look at Ethan's face. Look at the smile on his face. Oh, okay, what we can't see is there are some signs in the crowd. Honestly, there is so much written down. I can't possibly read those.
That's golden. Now, off to the right start there for August, and you know, again, seeing them have the number picked for Fnatic. Fnatic come out attempting to swing, but it's not realistically working so far. Really nice call. I believe it was from Emorin to swing out onto ward platform. Not only does he take down Magnet at that point, but he then completely clears all of the balcony.
So my big question for Fnatic is they did identify the issue. They said, okay, we don't have a Zofia, we can't counter the bandit trick anymore, so how are we going to do that? Speka moved over onto the Ashe, which I assume was just a direct off of the Zofia onto Ashe, because they have very similar utility. They have some kind of device that can remotely shoot 2 things that explode and soft breach, right? So the idea then was to substitute the Zofia for going below and using an Ashe charge on the floor so you can shoot the bandit trick while he's trying to bandit trick. But we saw one Ashe charge go out.
Yes.
It missed. I didn't see him fire it, but I saw the debris on the floor, and it just straight up missed. So I assume he just didn't land that shot, which is kind of strange. Got to use your utility correctly. And then, of course, Spectre later on got flanked and died. So that was the first thing that was the problem. After that, Fnatic decided to go for a kind of single-faceted push through Con, and it almost worked. They even got the wall open for CCTV by the end of it, but there was just no time at that point. And August stood strong.
Standing strong, they've been doing for an entire map now, and it's definitely, you have to say that momentum from August has carried on into this next map. Very good opportunity as well to play with the crowd and on the crowd. Quite a bit of noise with these rounds going by. August are looking very good, very perched to take this one.
Yeah, they'll go downstairs for now as well.
10 seconds to go.
That secondary bomb site, not going to try out bedroom. Just go to church, armory, arsenal, whatever you fancy. Seeing a roam as well, at least for now. Ethan going to be coupling that information gathering and information denial, of course. Valkyrie banned out by August, so if they want information, they've got to catch the drones. I guess it'll be a game of drones for all the defense. We have 2 Yokais on the board from Derpit. So it's a split. So far, most players from August on site. It does look like Ethan's the one. No, okay, he comes back as well. So deploying those pests, but mostly a turtle.
Really like to see some form of these Echo players. I feel like we haven't really seen too much needing to...
Is he going to shoot the drone? Nope.
No, not just yet. He was thinking about it, but
he's waiting for someone to peek.
Not going to bother chasing that either, because if he does, Specker's there waiting.
He does get that drone. Specker keen to peek on this one. We know he loves taking these gunfights, right? He'll never shy away from one of them.
Oh my god, jeez, that was aggressive from Ethan. Luckily, Rizraz has his teammates back, because that could have been a little bit shy of a super shorty in the face.
It was a very clever peek from Specker and Riz together. Specker just quickly leaning and making it look like he's holding a tight angle, so that Ethan wanted to wide peek it, but Rizraz was elsewhere in lounge holding the longer angle and caught him off guard. So there's the first pick that Fnatic need to then focus their spearhead onto the rest of the site. Of course, it's very difficult on this bomb site, Church, to open up avenues onto the objective and really start to take that control. It's a tough nut to crack.
Oh, Neophyte are not going to be given the opportunity to play just underneath the hatch. Opening up from Fnatic to ensure that they can put the pressure on him if he does try to sit and cover. You can see both of those openings in the floor. This is something that August did very well in map 1, which has never really let them get too set. Marin is going to go for a bandit trick.
Oh, what Diesel?
Hang on, what?
He just goes straight down long, heads up main stairs. He's got the diffuser down. We saw this as well earlier on map number 1, Consulate. Diesel went absolutely aggressive, made an impact play, but Fnatic have decided to storm the bomb site. Can Diesel make this flank work? It's just him and 2 others, but Fnatic get the numbers disadvantaged. Diffuser now picked up, Rizraz ready. Looks to peek in through Arsenal, get position spotted by Derp. Specker taken down, Rizraz, last one left. He knows a player in Derp. Doesn't have full information on the others. August should have plenty. They have Yokais as well as the Mozzie drones.
15 seconds left.
It's running out of time. This should be the round in the bag for August at this point. Rizraz will be trying to peek, but look at August. They're just sitting back. They're more than happy. They're just going to let him go for the plant. And
They can deny this with the Yokai.
oh, this is not looking too good.
Surely they
Should
they-
be.
he doesn't even
never
want
mind.
to. He just wants to
no
do
need
it
for the
bearing.
Yokai. They're just going to shove the barrel in the back and free kill. So just pad that KD for a little bit more.
So, last time these guys played on LAN, I keep harping on about the Oceanic Cup. Over 2 maps, Fnatic got 7 rounds total. So far in this series, they have won.
Attackers have recovered.
No words.
There is a long way to go for Fnatic to get back in here. Now, we're not seeing nothing from Fnatic. We see fleeting moments of greatness, fleeting moments of ideas or little individual moves that Fnatic are bringing to August. Individually, Fnatic are 5 of the best players in the ANZ region. I think that's undeniable, but as a team right now, and in terms of the preparation that comes into a big game, they just can't touch August.
Not right now, they can't. Not given an opportunity to either. After a successful second round for August, they will be going upstairs into Ward Gym. Gym and bedroom to be held. Must admit, last time I saw August play Clubhouse, they were incredibly strong on their defense. Very structured, very well just gelled together as a team, aren't they?
10 seconds remaining.
Both of these teams are. That's the thing that we say about both these teams. They're both teams that
5 seconds to insertion.
rely on their chemistry. You know, they're thorough teams. If there's the main differences I see between these 2 teams in terms of play style, August focuses more on counter-stratting and more on being thorough. You know, when they have a strategy, they really, you know, they take their time, are diligent with their droning. Fnatic are much more keen to do something explosive and out there, have a lot of aggressive players. But both of these teams revolve around that chemistry between their 5 players.
So far, it's not really worked out too well. For Fnatic, that time's been running really thin for them, and they're not really left with too many options after they find themselves on site, maybe sticking the defuser, but the second they are off it, August are pouncing. And they're going to continue to as well. They're not really... August won't be set just yet. They're going to continue to put this pressure back into Fnatic, not really give them the room to breathe. Emo in for the Bandits.
It's an Ash charge to take down, I believe that was a castle barricade. Is it? I can't quite see
Yes,
from this
it
angle.
was.
Yep, so Emorin still has that shield, but that won't save him. Spec up, nice angle there. Long way down, does take out the player. Neophyter wants to go aggressive, can't even land the shots. Is he going to whip out the pistol? How does he get that one? See you later, Virtue. And Diesel, he's been the man to step up when it's needed on smoke. August still equalize.
Yeah, Specker was so owned in on that player coming back out. I believe it was Neo trying to come through CCTV. He was trying to get that window line, but he couldn't make it work. Now Derp's going to back off and try and salvage what is left of these sites. They do have the jacuzzi wall open now, and they've got line of sight straight through to bedroom if they need it. So the rotates aren't going to be so simple anymore.
Still control of CCTV in the hands of Auglis. So what's typical for an attacking strategy on this map, what we've seen previously earlier on this in this bracket, you open up the west side wall, Jacuzzi, you take control of Cash, and if you don't take control of Cash, you can't really sit on that south balcony safely. Auglis still have that firmly in hand. So Fnatic, the amount of ground that they can take, really reduced.
See one of the players from Fnatic coming up from downstairs. They've got a bit of an inkling with that. Derp's going to be pre-firing. They've also got the smoke there. Magnet's now starting to leg it up. 20 seconds remain. They're still yet to make any progression toward the site. They're going to have to explode here. Derp's going to try to hold. It's going to be Magnet catching one on the rotate. Diesel shuts him down. Pulls out the shotgun for the second as well. Into the one-on-one. Time is running thin for Lusty here. He has to push it. Oh my God, Diesel again steps up for Auglis. We were saying that the impact of his frags is massive, and you've seen it through and through there. What a smoke player.
He is the hard support for Auglis, and yet he is stepping up and fragging out of his brain right now. And as you mentioned, these aren't just stat padding. This is impact frags right now. The team chemistry, this little combo here when we had Diesel coming to protect his teammate who just gone for that aggressive run out. I'm trying to imagine the communications between the players in that moment, saying, I'm going for this, you have to cover me here. And then just to round it all out, Diesel clutching in a 1 versus 2, a 1 versus 3. What a round.
Unreal. And we know him to be quite a joyous kid as well.
He's a player who hasn't been in the competitive scene for nearly as long as a lot of these names. We're talking people like Neofighter, Emo, Rin. These guys have been since the first season of Pro League. This is Diesel's first year. Oh, he started just last year, playing Pro League, late last year. Turned 18, got picked up by a Pro League team. And then before too long, his potential was spotted by Auglis. And that's not something you see often if it's a big fragging player. Some guy like Specker jumping on out there, tapping heads. They're the players who get noticed, and they're the players who get picked up. So when Auglis picks up this guy who plays Smoke, like he's a support player, people think, well, what's he going to do? And Diesel has been nuts. He's an integral part of this team.
And it's, you know, like the best part is he's integral in and outside of the game. Whenever you see Auglis around together, he's always just a jolly good lad, I think is the best way to put it. Always happy to talk, always happy to interact. But when it comes down to it, you can see the game face. He's so serious about this game. And it definitely echoes inside of the server as well.
Now he returns to Cash. So, of course, the bandit trick will be a pivotal point of this defense for Auglis. Zofia banned out, so she can't use her concussions to cancel the bandit tricking animation, as we've seen all weekend. The bandit trick will be safe. So it looks like Capitao is employed to counter this. Instead of going below with Ash, they're going to utilize the Capitao to deny that area. Still a possibility that he could attempt to stick it, but he doesn't even try for it. So Fnatic, nice hard counter. Well played.
Yeah, that's a good little adaptation that they've been able to make at CCTV there, and very nicely done for Fnatic to get that done in early timing. You know, we've generally seen them wait until a little bit later to start opening things up. This time, by the 2-minute mark, they're pushed and ready to go.
Fnatic also have Virtue, just as he did last time, pushing from the bedroom side. So it's a split. Spec has done his primary role on the team. He's countered that bandit trick. Now he can move in downstairs and prevent rotations around Lounge. So Virtue to push from behind. Fnatic will play the mid round and wait for the collapse. Rizraz spots out 2 players who want to play aggressive. Diesel does spot 1 downstairs, but Rizraz finds 2 here. And the numbers are favoring Fnatic. They look to have bounced back.
Oh, definitely starting to thin out with Magnet taking Diesel down as well. A 3v4 very, very different from the 2, obviously. And whether he hits this shot or not, Derp having to take that aggressive line. He's still trying to see in toward construction. The pre-fire doesn't really connect well enough. Still, 45 seconds left. Fnatic are making really good progression toward that site. Derp's looking for a different avenue as Neofighter takes down Magnet. This is starting to look okay, but that might be it. Derp has to play massively here.
Gets spotted by Specker downstairs. The pre-fire does net in that kill, but he can't get his Yokai into position to deny this drone. He's now getting Jackal scanned. There's really nothing worse he could hope for. 20 seconds left. He doesn't have the information to deny this plan either. He's going to predict it, but he doesn't have a ping. 1 versus 2. It's not impossible, but man, it's improbable. He's just waiting for the scan to finish.
Now he's going to be able to make some sort of play, but time's almost half gone. Again, this will just have to be a bit of a throwaway round for Derp. Looking to see if he can find a kill, and Rizraz on the Claymore. Nice way to finish out the round for Fnatic. First round on the board, and only a second in the series so far, Dev.
The first time in 9 rounds, or in 10 rounds technically, that Fnatic have gotten a point on the board. They're in the game. We see them starting to make some mid-game adaptations to the strategies that Auglis are presenting. That's exactly what they need. Fight fire with fire. And Auglis have been dialing up the aggression. It worked for them until that round.
Yep. It's nice to see a little bit of earlier play from Fnatic. And that round was almost done and dusted by the 45-second mark, which is generally when we've seen Fnatic start to really kick their butt into gear and make that move.
We've seen the castle picked for a church defense. Seen it a couple times so far, mainly by Mindfreak, to enable that roam. They place a castle barricade inside of bar to allow the rotation from upstairs, main stairs, to the basement without being picked off from bar. A nice little trick. Maybe Auglis have taken a leaf out of Mindfreak's book. We'll be looking to employ that in this round. Fnatic don't have a ton of utility to actually get rid of those castle barricades.
No.
There's no Zofia, obviously, no Ashe being picked. So they'll need to use either breaching charges if they've brought them, which they might not have on Rizraz,
10 seconds left.
or they'll have to expend a Hibana pellet. So we'll see if it works for Auglis. Of course, this is a roam strat, and Fnatic do have a roam hunter in the Jackal. So, I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Well, Fnatic are already spotting out the castle. You can hear it.
We can hear it.
Instantly, the comms coming through. It's always Specker.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he's sitting right closest to us as well, and he's probably the loudest on the team. He's saying he's castled off in garage. He's going to try to get rid of that. So currently all 5 downstairs. In fact, none of the castle barricades are being used in that position on bar. So my theory crafting was incorrect. And Auglis are rather going to be using that downstairs. Is this just because they don't expect Fnatic to be using any soft breaches? So, and they know how much time it will delay? Because they know that Specker switched on to the Capitao instead of the Ashe. So with Ashe not being played instead of the Capitao, obviously Zofia not being played, is there basically no utility to get rid of these castle barricades? Maybe that's what Auglis were going for.
They could really burn through some time here, and Fnatic have already been seen taking their time to head towards sites, so I wouldn't count it out just yet. Just a quick little opening in toward the hatches. Obviously need to get them done nice and early.
Yeah, Lusty does have the soft breach and the breaching charges, but he's using them all on the floor instead of on those castle barricades. That could be a problem. Maybe it would have been... Okay, Specker's just going to smack away at the castle barricades. 12 knife hits, and the castle will be destroyed.
And obviously when it does open, you need to be careful that someone's not already just waiting on the other side.
Imorin decided to throw a C4 over the top, but Specker was playing safe. He was moving away between every hit. Virtue finds the first pick, and that's blue at the moment, forfeited by Auglis.
What's he going to take there? Holds and all. That might have, no, not anywhere near enough, unfortunately. So the Hibana pellets will open up in toward Arsenal. Now playing a little bit
really
softer.
good. Looking really good for Fnatic so far. They're hard countering everything that Auglis are bringing to them. But we know Diesel likes to get aggressive. He's completely fired out, and Specker will confirm that kill. Imorin wants in as well. He'll down one, but Magnet's good for the refrag. Just Neofighter and Derp left. Looking to retake blue now. Neofighter as well at the bottom main stairs. He does have this impact grenade, so he can make himself a quick rotation towards the main stairs if he wants to, but he's cautious about a player in kitchen.
So many openings for them to have to fight. Derp goes down, Neo Fighter. We've seen a couple of 1v4s so far this tournament, but this is too much to ask for. He's waiting for the peak to come through. There comes the quick rotate, just trying to find the pre-fires. He might be given one. Specker goes down. Oh my word, if he takes down Magnet there, it's on like Donkey Kong, but no. Fnatic, they hold strong, they hold true, and they're bringing back this first half.
They are back in the game. It took them some time, but they have learned to get around these adaptations. It's the hard utility counters that are working. Don't let Emarin bandit trick the CCTV wall. Don't let Emarin bandit trick the church wall.
This is going to be attack pause for August to meld things over. Get a chance to hear from Silex, who we know full well, the notebook of doom for some of these teams.
The prepared notes before the tournament certainly helped August. Now Fnatic are starting to adapt. August needs something new. I'll turn to Silex. Ethan always gets in on these conversations. It's Ethan, Silex, and Diesel that really do the majority of the talking here. Not to say that the rest of the team is silent.
No, they definitely do a lot of the heavy lifting, don't they? You can hear it when you walk across there. Mid-round doesn't make a difference. They're both very vocal. Does have a lot of good synergy on the team as well, so something that maybe Fnatic is still trying to figure out with Specker, obviously. Again, we heard that from the interview yesterday. Just the fact that we're still trying to fit Specker in a little bit better, trying to get him on terms with what Fnatic do, because obviously it's very different when you're at this level playing competitively with your teammates.
And of course, he mentioned he hasn't been scrimming for months. Scrimming, for those who don't know, it's practice matches. It's how you practice the game. You ask another team to play against you, and you verse. You play some maps, and you try out your new strategies, and you try to see what you can learn. And Spec has been excluded from that from Fnatic for months because they've been focusing on using their core lineup with aces in place of Specker to win Pro League Finals, to win the Major, and they failed at both of those things. So now they come back to ANZ, they're trying some new things with Specker, but of course he hasn't been the team for as long. And there's a lot still that he has to learn to fit in. And a lot that the team has to learn about him as well.
100%.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Equally on them as it is on him.
I will say I'm incredibly impressed by Fnatic so far. The ability to, within one round, have the counter strat down. I mean, on the side of August, that Zofia ban got them a round or three.
Yep.
Right? That's a nice little cheeky, yeah, you toss a free round your way. But Fnatic aren't going to let themselves fall for that again.
Definitely nice to be able to bring in that Capitao and use it to full effect early. Like you're saying, not really let those rounds slip away too much before you do figure out what you want to be doing.
So what is the counter strat here for August? They brought the castle barricade on the window, so it's going to take a bit longer for Fnatic to remove that, and then inevitably Specker will throw down a fireball. So I don't know, is the idea here that they can't melee it? They can't go up knife it because of the pressure inside of construction? Nope, a breaching charge is laid on it. The spray comes out from Ethan, so that was exactly it. I heard Specker saying, go, 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 go. Detonate that breaching charge.
Oh, but that's
does work
not good.
Oh, wait, that's the huge pick. You're right.
That is Capitao down. That's those bolts gone, and that's going to make their job so much harder. They've got to rely on Thatcher, which is not exactly what you want there.
That is almost the best operator that August could have taken out right now. Yes, they lost their Echo. That's a huge operator off the board. Those Yokai drones can no longer be utilized, except for just as cameras. But getting rid of Specker means that they can now bandit trick safely. The only way I can imagine that they can counter this bandit trick would be to have Virtue go below and open up the floor with his Jackal shotgun. And realistically, Emarin, there's no way he's going to let that happen.
Rizraz is still waiting for the movement to come through. Like you're saying, now they're going to have to put a little bit of pressure into construction. See, the diffuser was dropped on the other side as well. It's no longer with Magnet, who's holding that drone hole, waiting for someone to try and peek or move. Catch a foot, bit of information as they go through. Lusty now opening up a little bit more. Ethan's just on the other side of those pallets, so waiting for the last second to move.
Ethan's in a very awkward position, and he's been spotted by the Jackal Inox tracker. But August are still safe inside of CCTV. Oh, and they denied one of the Hibana pellets. That means that Fnatic won't be able to plant where they want to plant, just inside of construction through the Hibana hole. They also still have CCTV solid. This is such a good position in the final moments for August.
Smoke's still got 3 of those babes as they start to come out. Ethan close with the super short. He will be able to find one. Pushing on through. Neophyter shuts down Rizraz. A really nice C4 that just doesn't connect, but Magnet and Virtue, they're not done yet. 8 seconds left. Again, running so thin on this time. Emo Rin so close, just waits for them to walk through. Takes down Magnet, swings onto Virtue, but the round, it just runs out of time. And August have done an incredible job at making that work.
We have to give so much credit to Derp that round. Was it Derp playing the Echo? So much credit to him. Killing that Capitao straight up meant that there was no way for Fnatic was going to get that open. And another little thing, making it so that they couldn't plant on the Hibana holes. They just destroyed one Hibana pallet, and I don't know how, honestly. I really did not see how. But that one Hibana pellet not being destroyed, that Fnatic were at a loss. They didn't know what to do. They had to file in, and they got it damn close as well. It came down to what was a 1v1.
Yep.
On 0-0-0.
Again, they just left it, you know, when they couldn't get that strat, and they couldn't get that open from Magnet on the Thermite. Time just starts to tick away so quickly when you're trying to figure out what is the next approach. What are you going to do when that does, you know, what's plan B? When plan A doesn't work, what do you kind of default to, especially when something like Capitao or Zophia's taken off the board early on Cash or CCTV where you need that wall open? We don't necessarily need it, but it's a huge addition to have that.
Pretty darn hard to take that side without a wall open or at least a peak hole.
So what happens?
We're playing a game of back and forth right now. These teams are exchanging blows. August will say, here's our strat. No Zofia. Fnatic will say, okay, that took a hit, but here's our strat. Let's do this. And August put forward, let's go castle, let's peek aggressively. Every single time, the ball is being thrown back and forth between these teams.
So far, August are coming out on top of the rallies, aren't they?
They are at the moment. I feel we are in a tennis arena, so we're allowed to make references to the Australian Open.
It has definitely been favouring August. Do go to their attacking side, but that's also their attacking side that they had on Consulate that secured 5 of 6 rounds. So, pretty grim right now for Fnatic, but this is a completely different map.
We know that Clubhouse is usually defender-sided. Fnatic can't be too upset. Now they're onto their defense. They should run away with most of these rounds, but my question is, August came into this game and they clearly had strats for their defense that revolved around, that they'd prepared, they'd counter-stratted Fnatic, they had the Zofia ban, but what have they got on their attack?
I'll tell you now, only time we're going to tell. I think
that's
that
going to get
Kaid,
tricked.
yeah, that should have been off in time, so nicely done to deny the first one.
Needed another Thatcher there from Neo. Not sure why they didn't commit 2 Thatcher grenades. All you have to do is throw one down and then wait a couple seconds and throw another one down, because the KE device, while it's still booting up, I guess, it's still vulnerable to being Thatchered. So Derpa is going to detonate that one. I don't think Lusty is anywhere nearby. Nope, he probably doesn't have another electrical either. So Fnatic, oh, he does still have one. He's going to use it to trick this church wall then.
Attackers have located a bomb.
He still has a Nitro. Can throw that Nitro over the top of that church wall. Great way to clear out anyone inside of Moto or bottom main stairs.
Now Emo Rin is back on that Buck, who we saw was just such a force when opening up, ensuring that Fnatic could never be comfortable in default positions at the very least, so it makes things a little bit uncomfortable and starts to turn the tide. 45 seconds left.
Imorin's trying to counter that position to Bandit Trick. That was one of the angles he was opening. Diesel wants to open up this wall, and a C4 being thrown over towards main stairs. Impact Trick doesn't work. Is the C4 going to get anything? It doesn't. And Diesel now just waiting for the aggressive plays from Fnatic. It was what worked out for August on their defense of this site. Fnatic going to do the same thing?
Oh, they've got to get past 2 crosshairs. Rizraz as well. He does have the shotgun. They're going to be able to buy more time. 10 seconds left. Lusty goes aggressive for a double kill. It allows Rizraz to get a little bit more aggressive towards Moto. Look how good this is from Fnatic. Neofighter with nothing left. They'll shut down the round. Fnatic straight back in toward the second half. They take round number 1.
And a great way to kick us off too on the Fnatic defense. Auglis ticked almost all the boxes. They opened up Church Wall. Fnatic unable to deny that, but at the end of the day, an aggressive peak, perfectly timed, perfect coverage from the teammates at the same time. Fnatic really nailed that. And here we have it. When you lose your attack, you don't get to retry the same attack. Gotta move over somewhere else. That's the case for August now. Gotta swallow your pride and move on from that round onto the next.
Tell you what, Lusty was instrumental throughout that round then. Start off with the Electric Claw, make it even more complicated for Hibana. And then when they come through, just that peak toward the end, just to go straight through that smoke, babe. It's looking pretty good so far on the defensive side. But again, it's one round. You don't really want to be jumping ahead too far. And as they are not going to be able to go back down into toward basement, realistically, they've got to double down and gym.
Pattern that we saw from Augus's defense is they started, and the first time they defended CCTV, they won it, right? Fnatic really struggled on the first attack on all 3 bomb sites.
Yep.
They couldn't nail it down, and once they started seeing the bomb sites again, they thought, oh, we've actually seen this before, let's try it again, and that was really when they started to have some success. They won 2 attacks onto CCTV. Just because they'd had that first experience where they learned about it.
Yep.
August stuck with that CCTV pick though.
Yeah,
through thick and thin, and eventually that paid off for them.
When you come out 4-2, you're going to be laughing. Now, one thing you might have been able to see if you saw the scoreboard just then, Virtue sitting at 10-3. There you go. So only 3 deaths throughout 7 rounds. That's pretty good with the... And this is kind of what we were seeing from him before in Fury. Obviously not to that extent, but when you're up against Auglis, I feel like this is a very similar performance.
A lot of it comes down to role and where on the map you're playing. Virtue on his attacks, especially on those church attacks, he was always coming from he was that flanker. He was that flank watcher and helping enable that control on the gym side of the map. But anyhow, he's onto that classic Jaeger in this defense, as we so often see. Specker may have joined the team to rival Virtue, but he still hasn't got his Jaeger license yet.
Not just yet. With 2 players across toward Cash, they will definitely be putting the bodies there to try and ensure that Auglis can't get through this too quickly. It's 2 minutes, and Auglis are happy to be putting the pressure back onto that eastern side. Lusty.
It's a good job from Derp to open up an angle into Cash, but Lusty will give as good as he gets. Virtue does even better with that initial frag onto Ethan. Trying to open up some holes is Derp. Should flash out that Kaid, but standing on top of the table, there's no angle that Derp can get onto the Kaid. For now, at least. Surely Immorin has another grenade. He can throw that in. Perfect! And it works like a wonder. 4 versus 4 now, and Auglis should have control of not only Cash, CCTV, but also Construction as they start to make their push towards the bomb site.
Ring just prepping. It will be that bedroom wall. You can start to make a little bit more of a rounded attack as Diesel comes on the other side of Jacuzzi wall. Just making sure for no run-outs, and I guess you got to be careful at this point.
Yeah, with Virtue on the team, definitely.
Fnatic are definitely happy to be doing something like that, no matter what happens. They're opened up now. They can make a little bit more of a directed attack.
Neo is so expectant of that strip club run out. But the rest of Auglis, yeah, see, they're all worried about it.
Yeah.
They knew Virtue was downstairs somewhere. They knew he killed Ethan. Rin trying to clear out some of this utility, but there is an ADS. Chews up that grenade. Derp needs to find this peak and make an entry into master bedroom. But Virtue's holding down the fort on the main stairs. 20 seconds.
If He falls here. Okay, now things get a little bit more interesting because Derp takes down Rizraz. Specker steps up massively. Magnet will find one. Neofighter now has to take the battle on toward Specker, but Specker's just sitting back waiting. It's going to play down to the time, into the last second, and Specker, he knew he had him. He knew all he had to do was wait. And executes perfectly. Again, Fnatic, they pull it out, but it's coming down to time.
It was a great round from Fnatic. Very close, but it did get there. And we're looking to even up the scoreline. Fnatic have gotten themselves back in the game. At a 4-4. We thought August had a pretty good half. They won 4 out of 6. But now we've seen Fnatic even that up. They're only replicating what August did though, right? Going around to various different bomb sites. They started basement, they won that. Go bedroom, gotta go cash next. Can't go back downstairs until one more round. When August were playing, they won 3 different bomb sites consecutively before they started dropping rounds to Fnatic. If August can take this round, it may not look like much, but that's August bucking the trend.
Yep. So important as well. We're going to see the Capitao being brought from August as well. The Bandit from Lusty. So, you reckon, Dev, similar things? I reckon we're going to end up seeing the Capitao try to come through with those fiery bolts. Stick him onto the feet of Lusty.
And Ethan always has a backup of being able to go downstairs with the buck, open up that floor, put some serious pressure onto Lusty. Of course, you've got to be careful going downstairs. Not only are you exposed to the holes you're opening with the Bandit up above you, but also players who roam around blue stairs, lounge, even bar. What we often see is the defenders will open up, I call them ankle height holes, all the way along the wall inside of stock room, connect stock to bar. That means you can't really stand inside of stock to watch flanks or open up some roof above you in cash. And it's Virtue who's going to be roaming, so he'll be the real predator downstairs if August do decide to go for that vertical play.
Virtue obviously in map number 1, constantly trying to find those roams on Consulate. This is a map that will allow him to if they're careful enough. Sure, at this point, Fnatic have to expect that August are going to be looking for that same kind of counter.
So when August won the round, they destroyed the Capitao early. Got an aggressive peek, and Magnus looking to do the same thing with that shield. August do have utility to counter that position, destroy the shield even. Plenty of grenades.
Bomb located by attacker.
They'll drone on in, not really get much more information. Ethan's not in the right spot, he only has 1 grenade left, so he has to make sure it doesn't get chewed up by any ADSs.
Just clearing out into construction, giving themselves a lot of room to move. Play off the back of this.
Very similar strategy to what Fnatic were doing on their attacks.
I feel like the time management's actually pretty decent from August at this point. They can get those Hibana pellets down, open up the wall.
Oh, nope, that's a Bandit battery. Great job from Lusty to make a full rotate. And if August had Diesel ready to open up the other side wall, might have been able to capitalize on Lusty's changed position, but Ethan's going to go and open a hole below the construction wall to allow Derp to use the remainder of his pellets on that wall.
Attackers have located a bomb.
And even just opening it up means that he can't go for it regardless of whether he sticks around Ethan or not. Magnet probably to find 1 or 2. You can hear the comms are coming through hot and heavy for Fnatic. Lusty, he's been given a lot.
Magnet is a hair's breadth away from peeking into construction and taking down Derp. How close are August to getting this to happen? Because Rizraz is putting a thorn in their side. 20 seconds and still, I'm not convinced, Rob.
No, they've taken far too long at this point. 15 seconds, 5 players up on Fnatic. They're going to have to absolutely frag out of their mind. Magnet's in the perfect position to drop 2 players. Lusty comes into Neofighter. Diesel, 5 seconds left. You're lucky to get a kill in this situation, and that is going to be shut down so well.
And
That's, Auglis have left that just a little bit too late without really having the response that they're looking for.
So August really struggled to deal with the hamstring that they pulled on their own operator ban phase.
Yep.
It was their idea to get rid of the Zofia, make it so that bandit tricking was a serious viable option.
Seconds to go.
Fnatic played into that, and the Capitao wasn't able to prevent a bandit trick onto the opposite walls. So Fnatic take the lead, but they did start on the defending side, which in theory should be favored. So Auglis, now this is the round that they really need to start getting into it. Fnatic won 3 different bomb sites, and now they have to retry, or they can retry rather, down onto Church. It's up to Auglis to make some adaptations here.
Spread of kills for both teams, actually. Ethan just having a bit of a quiet one, but like we were saying before, it's not necessarily the kills, it's more the impact of the kills, and it's more what you're doing on your operators. So Ethan can make this Capitao work and put the pressure back to Fnatic, ensuring that they can't really get the, well, there'll be the Electra Claws this time down from Lusty, or even just using that utility properly,
10 seconds to insertion.
opening things, giving them extra options.
5 seconds to
That's his job done.
August really struggled to flush out the players inside of Church last time. And while they did tick all the boxes, open up the Church wall, open up all the hatches they wanted, they didn't be able to flush those people out of Church. So we've seen Firebolts used by Fnatic on their attacks to help with that, flush out those players further back inside of Church. Maybe that's something that Auglis can take inspiration from.
There's certainly ways in which you can play with Fnatic and ensure that it's not the easiest trip. And like we were saying, you know, Fnatic have already countered what Auglis were doing, and especially in CCTV Cash, Fnatic were playing pretty similar. Still unable to make that work, but Imarin back on the buck, which is where we have seen him for the majority of the season. So maybe a bit of a more of a comfort thing with Ethan heading over to the Capitao.
Auglis is just happy to keep rotating through those operator picks as needed. What really matters is what are they going to need in terms of utility
Attackers
to
have located a bomb.
crack open this bomb site, get to the gooey Fnatic juice on the inside. Imarin opening up a lot of the holes in and around Kitchen. See if he can put some pressure onto the players in
Bomb
Armory,
has been
but
located.
yeah, Auglis are a team where we've been commending them for their time management, and that's what's really missing for me right now.
Without a doubt. Minute 20, they've only got the one hatch open, but that's going to be a big kill to take down with Virtue, who has been an absolute beast so far in the series. Magnet very, very quick to respond. That is going to be the Thatcher down. Not entirely sure how many more EMP grenades they had left, but they do have the hatches open that they're required to. Getting some live droning done in toward Church, so they're getting some more information at this point, but 54 seconds, again, they've just got to be careful with that time management. Oh, wow.
And really, that's going to not help them at all. Fnatic decide to get aggressive. Aggression's been paying off for the defenders so far this map. Ethan doesn't have any firebots left to trap that player in the corner. Fnatic are in the driver's seat. Auglis have nowhere to go, and they're the ones who have to make the move. A good shot from Ethan and a good read. Clears out the blue presence, but they'll still be met with a tumultuous end as Magnet's going crazy here with the Older.
Attackers have
Emo
recovered
in
their diffuser.
with diffuser in hand. 3 players to find and really nowhere to go with it. Magnet closes that one out, and Fnatic looking very nice now.
Yeah, Magnet coming through with a 4K. This is not what you want to see if you're Auglis. He's starting to feel at home. Fnatic is starting to feel comfortable. They're now on map point. After such a strong first half, the attacking side on Auglis has been anything but.
And it's great that we're finally seeing a closer game. After that map 1, I think a lot of, especially a lot of the Fnatic fans in the audience and in chat, no doubt wondering where their team is, because they haven't showed up yet. And finally we're seeing that come. And, well, Fnatic are now on match point, right? They started on defense. They had that advantage. Sorry, they started on attack. But they are now on that defense. This is their home turf, right? This is where they should be able to lock it out.
This would be so heartbreaking for
Attackers need to
August if we
locate
head to
and
a third
defuse
map
any
and Fnatic
bombs
take it.
located.
I feel like this would be a repeat of the Raleigh Major.
It's been the Raleigh Major qualifier, right? It's
Sorry.
been a serious comeback for Fnatic, right? They have just won the last 4 rounds. August been sitting at a 4-2 lead. Now they've just watched that slip away, and Fnatic are on match point. August, you're the ones who banned the Zofia. You have to have an adequate response to this bandit trick. We'll have to see whether they can do it because Bedroom
10 seconds
does
left
have
before
plenty of that bandit trick capabilities. He got close to winning it last
5
time,
seconds
but
remaining.
close is just not enough.
The old saying, close but no cigar, but still yet to taste that juicy cigar. They've still got 2 rounds to pull this back, and they've had realistically 4 rounds to try and figure out how to counter what Fnatic are doing. Still yet to really hit the mark on any of that. That's it. It's now or never for map number 2. Guess it's not win or lose at this point.
Not quite do or die for August, but you got to think about it. They really need to do some damage here on this map. After that lead that they felt for the first half, I don't want to let it slip away. Map 3, still doable. It's Cafe. But I no doubt August want to close it out in 2 like they did last time.
So
they'll play below. Ethan, this vertical play engaged nice and early. Watching out these positions inside of Cash. Cade last time played very aggressively. Lusty's taken a bit of damage, but still alive, and it's good timing for August so far. Lusty just chilling out on the table. Neofighter wants to find this angle, but he knows there's a lot of places he's exposed. Lusty just takes a bit more damage, but he's still going.
Going strong, and as long as he continues to buy time for Fnatic here, we're down to the minute 30 mark, and still they haven't been able to find him out. Magnet's been able to drop dirt, but it's going to be Emo Rin that finds one. Virtue manages to trade through, and this is a real problem for August. That we're just not seeing what we saw in map number 1. We're not seeing this time management. We're not seeing them put the aggression back onto Fnatic.
They still can't deal with this player inside of Cash. Still alive, and August at the numbers disadvantage.
At what point do you give up? And they're not giving up.
Lusty's been doing amazing things with that TCSG. Finally, he'll go down. But there's only a little bit more for Fnatic to do if they want to close out map number 1. 3 versus 2 now. Only a little bit longer, they'll have to hang on.
So hit 40 seconds, and still the time to work with Diesel, who we're talking about, such a good player for August and has been for so long, but needs to step up again. Both bottom fraggers at this point for August. Ethan and Diesel had a little bit more of a quieter time in this second half. 20 seconds, the time's running so thin here. They've got to make something work, Dev.
15 seconds left.
Diesel is going to open up the Jacuzzi wall. I heard someone from Fnatic call nothing Jacuzzi. Not sure if that's still the case, and Diesel taken out with the diffuser down, and Fnatic back in the game here. We're going to map number 3, Rob, and we couldn't have asked for anything less.
No, and that was what we were worried about. You know, a really good first half from August, but Fnatic, they bounce back 4-2 on their attacking side. And this is where we end. 7-4. Not a single round being able to be achieved from August. Just doesn't seem fitting.
Really shows